Hey there, I'm Frank Mitchell. On this channel, it's all about helping you understand your car and keeping it running the way it should. Whether it's routine maintenance or solving those tricky problems, I've got you covered. If you find this useful, give the video a like, hit that subscribe button, and be sure to watch till the end. You might learn something that saves you time and money. All right, let's get started.
In a market as saturated as the SUV market in Europe, brands seek to offer alternative body styles with the intention of attracting customers who want to deviate from the trend. SUV coupes are not as practical, but there is no doubt that they are more aesthetic and sporty. Renault and Peugeot look at the category with points of view that are as similar as they are different. In this comparison between the Peugeot 408 and the Renault Arkana, we will try to determine which alternative is better. Although they resemble each other, the truth is that there is one that stands out above the other. Do you know which one it might be? Price. While the 408 can be considered a crossover coupe sedan, the Arkana opts for a more typical SUV format. The different approach should not be off-center, because both are looking for the same thing, although not for the same price. If we look at the rates, we see that the Renault Arkana is cheaper than its French rival. The price of the new 408 on Carwow starts from €31,827 with an average discount of €3,165. The Arkana is offered from €27,031 and has an average discount of €2,867. With these differences, one could write off the comparison for the Peugeot, but let's not get ahead of ourselves because there are several factors that will come into play. Peugeot 408 Renault Arkana dimensions. The price comes somewhat conditioned by the size, and while the Renault Arkana we can place it in the European CSUV segment, the 408 makes the leap to a higher category. This alone does not justify the price difference, but at least part of it does. The 12 centimeters difference is hard to hide for a Peugeot that is bigger and wider, but lower. It also offers a longer wheelbase and a slightly higher weight. Peugeot 408 Renault Arkana length 4.687 meters, 4.568 meters, width 1,848 meters, 1,821 meters, high 1,478 meters, 1,576 meters. Wheelbase 2.787 meters, 2.72 meters, weight 1,468 kilograms, 1,411 kilograms, trunk min 536 liters, 513 liters, max trunk 1,611 liters, 1,269 liters. Underneath the bodies are very different platforms. The Arkana uses the CMFB architecture of the Nissan-Renault alliance. It is the same that we can see installed in other models of the Franco-Japanese conglomerate, as the Nissan Juke, for example. For its part, the 408 enjoys the most modern version of the EMP2 platform of the Stellantis group. The French use it in a variety of products, including the Citroën C5 Aircross or the Opel Grandland. Peugeot 408 Renault Arkana interior dimensions and roominess. Looks can be deceiving, but not in this case. The fact that the Renault Arkana offers a smaller wheelbase means that its habitability is worse. The 408 makes the most of every additional centimeter to offer a cabin with more space in almost all dimensions. The second row of seats allows passengers up to 1.85 meters tall to ride comfortably. More legroom, but not headroom, as the Arkana's height gives it an advantage. When traveling with 3 adults on the rear bench, it is best to do so aboard the Peugeot, although the difference is practically negligible. Both feature an unobtrusive transmission tunnel and ISOFIX mountings fitted as standard on the second row side seats. Front seats Peugeot 408 front seats Renault Arkana front seats Renault Arkana rear seats Peugeot 408 rear seats Renault Arkana trunk. Before carefully assessing which car offers more trunk volume, should be taken into account that Renault and Peugeot models offer a generous mechanical portfolio that includes hybrid or plug-in hybrid versions that subtract cargo capacity. Despite the drop of the rear window, the large rear overhang allows you to offer a generous cargo volume ranging from 471 liters of PHEV models and 536 liters of thermal mechanics. The Renault Arkana loses out in this section with a trunk whose minimum volume varies between 480 liters for hybrid units and 513 liters for versions with conventional thermal engine. In both cases, the second row of seats can be folded in a 60-40 ratio to achieve the maximum possible capacity is 1,611 liters for the Peugeot and 1,269 liters for the Renault. Trunk Peugeot 408 Trunk Renault Arkana engine and performance. As already mentioned, Renault and Peugeot offer a wide variety of mechanical units, but both have in common the fact that they dispense with diesel engines. These have been replaced by hybrid units in the Arkana and plug-in hybrid units in the 408. The offer is very balanced in both cases, although the Peugeot offers a more generous power range, between 130 and 225 horsepower with automatic gearboxes in all versions. The Renault is more conservative in its performance, with a range of 140 to 158 horsepower. At all times the power goes to the front axle without the possibility of equipping all-wheel drive systems. Peugeot 408 Renault Arkana engine range TCE 103 kilowatts, gasoline MHEV, 140 horsepower E-Tech 105 kilowatts, gasoline HEV, 143 horsepower TCE. 116 kilowatts, gasoline MHEV, 160 horsepower consumption. It must be recognized that the engines equipped in both models have an excellent power consumption ratio, but with the data in hand, we see that the Peugeot 408 offers lower consumption averages, especially in the plug-in hybrid versions. The most economical model in this comparison is the 408 plug-in hybrid 180 with a homologated record of 1.1 liters per 100 kilometers, provided there is a battery. If we compare equivalent versions, i.e., the PureTech 130 and the 140 horsepower TCE, we discover that there are barely a couple of tenths of consumption, 6 and 5.8 liters on average, respectively. Taking all this into account and eliminating the PHEV versions from the equation, we can say that there is no clear winner in the consumption section. Peugeot 408 Renault Arkana equipment. Inside the doors, each one is committed to offer the usual philosophy of each house. Renault and Peugeot strive to create cabins with a higher quality than the standard of each segment. However, in this comparison we can say that the 408 has a better level of finishes and equipment. The camper sedan is able to offer a more generous equipment and superior quality. It should also be noted that we are talking about a more modern model with a more modern platform. In its catalog include details such as a greater number of driving assistance and exclusive features such as night vision camera, wireless connectivity and 360-degree parking cameras. Peugeot 508 Renault Arkana. We reach the end of this comparison with a very evenly matched contest. Although the Arkana is more economical, it is not able to match its rival in general terms such as livability, equipment, or quality. The difference in consumption does not come into play either, although it must be recognized that being 12 centimeters shorter it is more comfortable for urban mobility. For quality of finishes, ride comfort, better habitability, better equipment and design, we believe that the Peugeot 408 is the worthy winner of this analysis. Yes, it is more expensive, but not enough to completely upset the balance.